Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the middle of the order. We're continuing with our TOPs here. Just got over the hump, and now we're on the slide down towards the finishing of these episodes here. And today, we're talking about the AL Central winners from last year, your Minnesota Twins. I don't know why I put a little spooky accent on that. The Minnesota Twins are the team we're discussing today. Maybe I put a little spooky on it because I'm a little spooky about this team. I'm not sure how I'm feeling about it entering the 2024 season. Last year, the Minnesota Twins led the AL Central Division, the AL Mid Division, as I called it. 87 and 75 were their record. They were 10th in runs for, 6th in ERA, and 3rd in runs against. So that defense really helping them stand that down. They were 1st in the AL Central, 7th in the AL as a whole, and 11th in MLB as a division winner, which is kind of where I scratch my head. They have the 21st pick in the draft, but they also are getting a 33rd pick overall, and that's because of Sonny Gray's qualifying offer. I'm not 100% sure how the qualifying offer picks would work because, there are guys who are having qualifying offers and are signing with some other team, and like the other team's picks are happening in like the 4th round and like in compensation round B. So I'm not sure why only specifically Sonny Gray's is the first one. Maybe it's because he signed first and do it based off of that. That would make sense, actually. Maybe it's that. But Sonny Gray, so they have 2 picks within the first 33, which is pretty good for the Twins. Of course, they were an AL Central team, so they hosted the Blue Jays in the Wild Card Series, and they finally broke the curse and won a postseason game for the first time in a long, long time. I believe it was 2004. They swept the Blue Jays there, 2-0, and then had to go and face the Houston Astros and put up kind of a good fight, but in the end, they fell short. They lost that series 3-1 to the Astros, and now they got to regroup and try again this year. And they're going to do it with some interesting names here. First of all, Josh Staumont, one of our players that they're adding. Anthony DeSclafani got traded twice from the Giants to the Mariners, and the Mariners to the Twins, which is where he's at here. Justin Topa as well. Carlos Santana they signed. Steven Okert, Jay Jackson, and then they just recently traded for Manuel Margot from the Dodgers as well. Those are the adds. Who they losing? Sonny Gray finished 2nd in Cy Young voting, and he is gone. Kenta Maeda, Tyler Mahle, Emilio Pagan, Dylan Floral. So just a lot of great pitchers that they lost. Joey Gallo's gone. Jorge Polanco got traded. He's gone. Nick Gordon got traded. He's gone. Michael A. Taylor, Miguel Sano. That's a tough name right there. And Donovan Solano. Sano, obviously not the player he once was, but still was one of the faces of the franchise of the Twins for a long time. So sucks to see him go as well. But that doesn't mean the Twins don't have a bad team despite all of those, subtractions from the roster. The rotation is as followed. Pablo Lopez, the definite 100% ace of this staff now that Sonny Gray is gone. He was great last year. We'll see how he continues on. Then you got Joe Ryan in the number 2 hole. Bailey Ober. Chris Paddock. That's an interesting name to be throwing in the rotation at number 4 right now. And then Anthony DeSclafani listed as the 5. The bullpen has a certified closer for sure, Johan Duran. I believe that's how it's pronounced, Johan Duran. Definite closer. Throws 102. He's got gas in the back of that pin there. Other guys include Griffin Jacks, Brock Stewart, Caleb Thibar, and then of course some of the guys they got from free agency and trades this year: Justin Topia, Steven Okert, Josh Staumont, and Jay Jackson. That's how Fangraphs has the Twins bullpen lining up to be, and it's not a bad bullpen, to be fair with you. The lineup is as followed. Eduardo Julien, the Quebec native, batting first, playing second base. Then Byron Buxton in center field. Can he stay healthy? Royce Lewis batting third, playing third. Can he stay healthy? Carlos Correa, the shortstop, bats fourth. Max Kepler, right fielder, batting fifth. Carlos Santana at first base, the 38-year-old. He bats sixth. And then some of the rookies there. Matt Wallner, left fielder, bats seventh. Ryan Jeffers, the catcher, bats 8th, and Alex Kirilloff right now listed as the 9. The bench has the backup catcher Christian Vasquez, Kyle Farmer, Willie Castro, and recently traded for Manuel Margot. There's definitely some platoon options on this team. Margot for Wallner, Willie Castro, Kyle Farmer for Edouard Julien, depending on the days. So they have some options there as well. So it's a nice, well-rounded lineup. 1 through 9. These are guys you can hit. Kirilloff was once top prospect. Royce Lewis, we got to talk about a little bit as well. Some of the free agents at the end of this year, guys, they're losing Anthony DeSclafani's at the end of his contract. Max Kepler, that's a name that's going to be interesting come the offseason after, 5, 6, 7 years with the Twins. He's done. Carlos Santana, of course. Caleb Thibar, one of the bullpen pieces there. They have a club option on Jay Jackson that they can choose to pick up on. And then 2 mutual options for Manuel Margot and Kyle Farmer as well. So the team could be a little different at the end of 2024. But yes, let's talk about these Twins and why I'm a little hesitant on the 2024 here. They were a good team when you compare it to the AL Central last year. The Tigers weren't really the Tigers that they were supposed to be. The Guardians were struggling a lot. The Royals were bad. The White Sox were bad. So would you say the Twins won the division with 87 wins, or they kind of were the only viable option? I'm not to bash Twins because their rotation was very nice. Having Sonny Gray and Pablo Lopez as a 1-2, that's a very strong and very good 1-2 punch at the top of the rotation. But for me, it's always been the injuries. I mean, you look at that second, third, and fourth right there. Byron Buxton, a first-round second pick. Royce Lewis, a first-round first pick. Carlos Correa, a first-round first pick. I mean, that just goes to show you the kind of like top-end talent that they do have there. The problem is they're not healthy a lot of the time. Royce Lewis, I mean, he got drafted first overall in 2017. He was supposed to be good to go 2019, 2020. And he didn't get his chance to debut until 2022 because he kept dealing with injuries, and that's been his name in the game. And even when he finally got to debut, it only lasted 12 games before he had to go back down again. In total, in his 2 years, 2022, where he got to play 12 games, and 2023, where he got to play 58 games. So he's played 70 games in his major league career. 79 hits, 17 home runs, a 307 batting average, and a 913 OPS. So yeah, when Royce Lewis is healthy, he is a great bat. And we saw in the postseason as well, as he clubbed a couple of home runs against those Blue Jays and Astros. He's a great player, but he can't stay healthy. And that's going to be, a question for the Twins. Same with Byron Buxton, who is now definitely kind of the face of that franchise. Maybe Correa is as well. I mean, 2015, 2016, up and down the lineup, like, he has never, besides 2017, in 2017, he won a Gold Glove, finished 18th in MVP voting. He has never played more than 100 games in a season. Every year, Byron Buxton gets hurt. Guy is made out of glass. 2021, he played 61 games. He was great at the start of the year. He has an OPS of 1.005, but of course it doesn't qualify because he missed 100 games that year. 2022, he was first All-Star, and the most games he's played in a season outside of that 140 in 2017. He played 92 games in 2022, and he was an All-Star for the first time in his career, and that one wasn't even one of his better years. Like, Byron Buxton, if he can be healthy, if Royce Lewis, like, that's kind of the first question I go to with the Twins here is, your 2 best players can't be healthy. Like, that's a problem. If you get Byron Buxton for 140 and you get Royce Lewis for 130 even, then the Twins are definitely better off than I'm thinking them to be. But the truth is, I can't say, if Byron Buxton does this and if Royce Lewis does this, because we haven't seen it. Royce Lewis has been a smaller sample size, over the last 2-3 years. Byron Buxton, this has been going on since 2015. This is like the 10th year of injury at some point, whether it's the beginning of the season or in the middle of it. He misses a good 2-3 months every year, and that separates him from the upper echelon of being a top center fielder and a top player in baseball. Like, it's him getting hurt. Last year, Buxton, 85 games, 17 home runs, a 207 batting average, a 731 OPS. Like, he's going to be 30. And he is still yet to play a proper full season of baseball. Royce Lewis, on the other hand, at least he's going to be 25. But still, I mean, he could have been playing baseball from when he was 21, 22. And he didn't get that chance until 23. And he only played 12 games before he got hurt. Like, it's a really tough struggle there for those two guys. And they're not the only ones, too, because remember, Carlos Correa, the reason he is a Twin is because both the Mets and Giants passed up on him because of what they thought were going to be injured Carlos Correa going forward. So far, he hasn't had that. He's still played, upper 130 kind of games here. Last year with the Twins, 135 games, 118 hits, a 230 batting average, and a 711 OPS. Correa won Rookie of the Year in 2015. He was a star. 2017, an MVP, the year he was a World Series champion. And then 2021, also an All-Star in his last year at the Astros. Gold Glover, finished fifth in MVP voting. In his 2 years with the Twins, they haven't been anything miraculous. Combined a 261 batting average, a 773 OPS, 40 home runs, so not really, around the career numbers, I guess. But has no All-Stars, no Gold Gloves, no nothing like that. So he really hasn't been the shortstop that they paid him to be yet. That deal is 6 years, $200 million, so he's basically making 33, to 35 million a year. And he's playing like a top, like mid-tier shortstop. Like, there are a lot of great shortstops in our game right now. And the money that they're spending for Correa, you'd kind of want more production out of that middle of the lineup there. So if he's going to be the fourth guy batting fourth, I mean, you're going to want him, hitting 20-plus home runs, having a 260, 270 batting average, having an 850-plus OPS. And really, since his days in Houston, we haven't seen that from Correa. So I think that's what, the Twins need to hope for first. So, I mean, yeah, when you look at the Twins lineup, it looks nice. The names are good. But it's like Byron Buxton, injured. Royce Lewis, injured. Correa, underperforming. So, I mean, you're just banking on your kids to kind of stay around and contribute while your top echelon guys try to figure things out, try to stay healthy. I mean, if you are Rocco Baldelli, I think he's still the manager. How do you manage this lineup? You can't be giving them days off, just to stay healthy every other day, or moving the DH around every so often just so they're not, that much more on their feet. Because they need to go 100%. To be the best version of themselves, they need to be playing full out. But, like, they just can't be getting injured. And that's kind of where, that worries me with the Twins. Because last year I said that the Royals, the White Sox, they were just bad teams. Tigers weren't there, performing the way they should have. They had some injury stuff. And the Guardians were also just kind of mediocre. This year, you can't say the same. The Royals are looking a little bit better. The Tigers look really strong. Who knows what the Guardians are going to do under Stephen Vo, new manager? So yeah, as a whole, I am a little hesitant about these Twins here because I feel like their competition got a little bit better, and they didn't do much, when you look at the additions versus who they lost. I mean, losing Sonny Gray, second in Cy Young. I talked about him in the Cardinals TOP about how, like, some years he just is one of the best pitchers, and other years he's just super mediocre. I mean, he was one of the best pitchers last year. And when you have that on your team, yeah, you look better. Those are wins that you got. And this year, you don't have it. And no offense to Joe Ryan, but he is not going to be Sonny Gray kind of levels of production that you were getting last year. So that's one thing that I'd be worried about as well if I was a Twins fan. Chris Paddock, I want to talk about a little bit here because he's listed right now as the fourth guy in the rotation. And he's one of those pitchers who started off, his career kind of nice, and it's been a real line down ever since. Debuted in 2019 with the Padres, where he pitched 26 games, a 3.33 ERA, 153 strikeouts. He got the nickname the Sheriff, and things were looking good. Then COVID happens, 2020. He's okay, a 4.73 ERA, 12 games started, but nothing crazy. You don't think anything much of it. 2021, and this is where things kind of go downhill. He makes 22 starts out of 23 games, 108 innings, and a 5.07 OPS. Padres sent him loose. He ends up on the Twins. In 2022, where he made 5 starts with a 4.03 ERA. And then last year in 2023, he played 2 games, didn't start either of those games, and a 5.4 ERA. So, you have to ask your questions here. Like, yeah, recently, I guess recency bias in the playoffs and everything, he's been coming out of the bullpen and he's been okay, but he's definitely not that 2019 when he debuted kind of form. So, I mean, to have him as your four, you have to see how that goes because, the Twins have a decent farm system, to be fair. Brooks Lee, their number one prospect, and number 10 overall in MLB. Walker Jenkins is a guy. Austin Martin, is this year his time? Simeon Woods Richardson as well. So there's some names that in the prospect system. If Simeon Woods Richardson, comes up and he's a good starter, you can move Paddock back to the bullpen if he's struggling, finds more success there. It's definitely just an interesting number 4. And like that's what I'm saying, the rotation, Paulo Lopez, great, certifiable ace superstar. Joe Ryan, good. Bailey Ober, good, no problems with Bailey there. Desclafani, he's been injured, so you don't really know what you're getting out of him. And then just Paddock is really the question mark there. So I mean, it's a very top heavy rotation for me, and that 4 and 5. You'd like to see some better numbers. Desclafani's had some great years in the past with the Reds and even with the Giants in 2021. It's more of a matter of what are you going to get out of him this year in 2024. But yeah, the pitching scares me. The bullpen's good. I would say the bullpen's the most confident part about the Twins. I feel like if you go into a game late, you should feel good about kind of securing that game. The lineup though, like I said, Buxton and Lewis. I mean, Edouard Julien we could talk about because he was really good for the Twins last year. Finished 7th in Rookie of the Year voting his first year. 109 games, 89 hits, a 262 batting average, and an 839 OPS. Yeah, love that from him. Get more chances in there. I think he's going to have an improved year, hopefully, and he doesn't have a sophomore slump. I think he's going to be a key piece for any Twin success, top of the lineup, if that's where they're going to slot him in the batting lineup, because he's going to be, needed to get on base. We saw the way he was hitting. He's decent defender as well. They have him at second base because of Carlos Santana, but he was also playing some first base last year as well. So they do have options there. As a whole, I wouldn't say that I'm overly confident in the Twins. I don't know. For me, it's more the fact that I just think some of the other teams are taking bigger steps forward than what the Twins did. I would still say on paper the Twins have the best team, and especially with some of those names that you have there. The question is, when you actually get into a season, how are those names going to fare? Are those guys going to be, playing from April to September and playing great baseball? Or are they going to be playing April to May, get hurt, come back in July, get hurt, come back in September? Because that's 2 different Twins lineups. Like, that's like the farm system. There's guys, Jose Miranda. He got a little bit of playing time last year as well. He's right now listed as AAA. Trevor Lenarch, I believe is the right name there. He had some playing time. Randy Dobnak right now is a non-roster invitee name. So, I mean, there is definitely options for the Twins in their farm system as well. But, how much depth can you go to? How many guys can get hurt before it's like, okay, we're struggling out here? Because, yeah, if we're talking about a healthy Byron Buxton and a healthy Royce Lewis, this team can definitely go and fire on all cylinders here. Because those days where you maybe have Chris Paddock starting, you rely on the offense a little bit more. Those days Pablo Lopez and Joe Ryan are starting. You can, take it back a notch. I think the big thing is just staying healthy for those players, because that's going to lead to either the Twins coming third in the division or the Twins winning the division by 10 games. And you don't know which one you're going to get. So that's kind of the tricky thing with Minnesota going into the season. The over-under right now listed by FanDuel is when I go off of 87.5. Obviously, FanDuel believes that they're going to be division winners again, and that's fair to say. And if, like I said, a healthy Royce Lewis, it scares me. It really scares me if he's healthy and playing the way he's played. But I just don't know about Minnesota, so I'm going to take the under. I just don't feel confident in the lineup. Or what's the word I'm going for here? As a whole, I don't think they're going to be healthy. If they are and things go, great. But I just, like with Byron Buxton, we've seen it year after year after year. Like, he's going to end up on the IL at some point. Like, take the under in Byron Buxton games played. It doesn't matter. Like, it's just tricky. Losing Sonny Gray's hard. And yeah, the Tigers got better. The Guardians, who knows? The Royals definitely got better. Dylan C says the White Sox are sneaky good. I don't believe that, but yeah, I'm gonna take the under. I think it's gonna be a little bit more harder for the Twins to win this year as division winners. So give me the under on the 87.5, and that is gonna wrap up the Twins TOP here. Thank you, everybody, so much for listening. We've got one more for you guys later on today, 11 o'clock. Spoiler alert. It is an NL team, if you can figure that one out. But yeah, thank you everybody so much, and I will see you guys next time.